It's no secret LEGO's expensive. Especially when building anything in scale, the cost can add up dramatically. Have you ever wondered how people afford to build these giant MOCs that you see at LEGO conventions and on YouTube? I'm going to tell you all my secrets and tips for being able to buy LEGO as cheap as possible, and the answer probably isn't what you're going to expect. It's highly dependent upon which parts you need and in what quantities. So I'm going to go over which pieces you should be buying from where in order to get the best deals. The absolute best place to buy your LEGO is from the LEGO Pick-a-Brick walls in the stores. So it comes in these cups right here, and there's actually a smaller size that's like half, but these will run you $16 to $17 depending on which city you live in. Sometimes the prices are a little bit different. The contents of these cups can often equal, depending which kinds of parts you're buying, can usually value anywhere from $80 to about $120 if you were to buy these pieces separately. So getting these for $15, $16 is honestly the biggest deal out there when you're trying to accumulate LEGO parts. The only drawbacks are the part selection tends to be not great sometimes, but if you're patient and you visit often enough, like check in your stores weekly, you can usually find some really great items and elements for your builds. For example, I got all of these parts off of LEGO Pick-a-Brick walls. And you'll notice these are actually really good parts that I actually intend on using in my MOC for Hogwarts Castle, especially these dark tan 2x2 tiles. But this right here represents all of this, about 10 Pick-a-Brick cups, which cost me around $160. But if I were to have purchased all of these pieces individually off of another marketplace, the value here is probably somewhere between $1,200 and $1,500. So utilizing these Pick-a-Brick cups off of the wall is really going to cut down your costs. And like I said, just be patient, check back often, and anytime you see a good part, even if you don't have an immediate use for it, go ahead and buy it. That way you have it on hand, because it's better to be safe than sorry. I can't tell you how many times I have passed by parts thinking, oh, I'll never use that, only a few months later to come by and realize, I wish I had a few cups of those. I remember those on the wall. A lot of the more popular pieces tend to move fast, so talk with your LEGO store employees and they'll fill you in on like which days they do restocks so that you can be there at the appropriate times to really capitalize on the Pick-a-Brick opportunity. Now, what do you do if you don't happen to live in a city that has a LEGO store? There is a solution. Go on Facebook and look up some Facebook groups. There's several. I'm a member of one of them. It's like LEGO Pick-a-Brick Wall Exchange. And basically, it's people who live in cities that have LEGO stores. You can place orders with them, and they will charge you the exact cost of the cup plus the tax, and then you will have to pay to ship it. But normally, you can get about 3 of these large cups shipped to you for around $9 or $10. And so it'll take basically your $16, $17 cup and turn it into a $20 cup. So when you look at all of this, maybe I would have had to have paid around $200 for all this instead of the $150, $160 to pay the shipping on it. But that is still a huge cost savings compared to buying these individually by the piece. Because like I said, that would have been $1,200 to $1,500 to have bought all this individually. The members of those Facebook groups will usually post photo updates of their LEGO walls. And that way you can go through and look at the photos and decide, which elements you want. And then you can contact them and say, hey, I need a cup of dark tan tiles and a cup of these and a cup of, these plant pieces. And they'll take care of you and ship them out. I've never had any problems through those outlets or venues. Everybody through there is typically really honest. The only downsides with that is, like I said, you will have to pay shipping and you won't get any of the VIP points that you would have gotten by purchasing these in the store. And you also won't get any of the promotional gifts or gifts with purchases that might have come with reaching some of the price spending limits on these parts. The people who do the exchange and go actually collect these and purchase them for you, they usually keep those for themselves. And I think that's a fair compromise and a fair reward for them, because at the end of the day, you'd still be getting a huge discount and value for your money if you don't happen to live in a city that's anywhere near a LEGO store. The other option is LEGO Online. The Shop at Home website actually has an online Pick-a-Brick feature, and For the most part, I don't recommend using this. What you can do, though, is you can go on there, and it's a lot like Bricklink or other marketplaces, and you have to buy the parts by the piece. And for the most part, though, they tend to be more expensive per piece than other marketplaces. However, you would get VIP points and qualify for promotional giveaways and those sorts of offers that LEGO frequently does. The other benefit of online Pick-a-Brick is the free shipping. And so for the most part, I don't recommend buying parts off of the online LEGO Pick-a-Brick, except for a few, exceptions, which we're going to talk about. The first is anything large and heavy, like the 16 by 16 plates that you see here. These are about $2.50 each on LEGO online Pick-a-Brick, direct from the company. And they're about the same price, maybe even a little bit cheaper than ordering these off of Bricklink. But the biggest advantage is free shipping. If you need to order a lot of large, heavy pieces, the shipping will quickly add up if you were to use Bricklink or Brickowl or some other venue. Whereas with LEGO, if you spend $35, you do get free shipping. The other thing would be like animals or things like that out of new LEGO sets. If they make new animal molds, a lot of times you can get those cheaper through the online Pick-a-Brick. Keep in mind, though, they frequently sell out of things, and your luck can be hit or miss. But my favorite place to buy LEGO parts has to be Bricklink.com. I'm sure most of you are familiar with what Bricklink is, and I'm not going to go into details about how to use it and how the interface works. There's plenty of other YouTube videos out there on that subject. But what I will say is that for the most part, there are two different kinds of Bricklink orders that you will be placing in your lifetime on the website. There are orders where you're going to need maybe 5 to 10 different elements, but you need those elements in extremely high quantities. I'm talking like 500 or 1,000 plus of each element. The cheapest places on Bricklink to get those sorts of orders fulfilled is going to be Germany. There's like 3 or 4 really large stores in Germany. That's where all the largest Bricklink stores in the world are. And their prices tend to be cheaper. I don't know how they are able to achieve that, but I'm thankful they are, because their prices tend to be 20 to 30% below the average sales price. And so if you're ordering in a high enough quantity, you can make up for the shipping difference, because you are going to have to pay international shipping unless you happen to live in Germany, in which case I'm very jealous of you. But I live in the United States, and so shipping from the United States to Germany is usually like around $10 or $15, which works out to about $5 to $10 more than I would be paying if I had ordered, parts domestically. And so as long as you're ordering in really high quantities, Germany will save you the most amount of money. I tend to order from Germany about once a month, and I try and place really large orders when I do, just to really maximize that shipping. Because overall, the secret to Bricklink's success is to pay as little in shipping as possible and as few times as possible. You don't want to be ordering from a bunch of different stores, a few dollars here, a few dollars there, because if you have to pay $4 or $5 shipping on each of those orders, it's going to quickly raise the price of the parts that you're trying to purchase. The other type of Bricklink order that you'll find yourself needing to place is where you need a lot of different elements, maybe 50 to 100 unique elements, but you only need them in quantities of maybe 5 or 10, quantity per piece. And then for those orders, I would try and stick domestically to whichever country you're in. Most countries have plenty of Bricklink stores that have a really good selection, and you can usually find what you need and pay less on shipping. Because chances are one store isn't going to have everything that you need, so you'll have to order from multiples. So keeping those shipping costs down by ordering domestically is really going to help you on your average cost per part when you're doing that. In fact, I would estimate roughly 80 to 85% of what I've built so far of Hogwarts Castle has come from Germany, and then the rest has come from LEGO Pick-a-Brick walls. It's been the best way to keep the costs down, especially because this is made up mostly of 2x4 bricks, 1x4 bricks, your standard brick pieces, a lot of common plates, some masonry bricks, and a lot of tiles. It's been really basic parts for the most part, and those are all elements that I've been able to order, by the thousands of from the German Bricklink sellers. Specifically, and most recently, was the parts for my custom windows here. This is made out of 1x1 trans-clear plates. And if you see how many windows are actually on the Great Hall, there's something like 3 or 4,000 1x1 trans clear plates in this build so far, and I was able to go and pick them all up from Germany, like for an average price, I think of like around 3 cents per piece. And then by the time you factor in shipping, it works out to like 3.2 cents per piece. And that's much cheaper than paying 5 or 6 cents domestically or through the LEGO Shop at Home Pick-a-Brick, because I haven't been lucky enough to find them on a wall. And you think, well, a penny, penny and a half doesn't make a big difference, but when you buy 4,000 of something, that's like $40 to $50 savings. And so all those little things can really add up, because these Mocs are very large and they become very expensive unless you start trying to trim costs wherever you can. I encourage you to click this video here if you want to see more about my Hogwarts castle and exactly how I built it and how I got to this point. Let me know in the comments section below what you think about these tips, and if I missed anything. Until next time, see you guys later. Bye.